Hi guys, I just thought I'd hop on and do a quick video blog about my evaluation for the Creative Summer Bootcamp. I think it was a massive, huge success. I am extremely proud of my entire team who literally put this together at very, very short notice. The funding application was a very, very quick turnaround and it was very, very stressful for me. We didn't actually get the funding until a week before we were meant to deliver, so it was frantic buying and making sure we had all the resources that we needed. It was funded by the Holiday Activity Fund. We had to compromise with them on various things because I wanted it to be available free for everybody. But unfortunately, because it's a government scheme, it's only for those that are on free school meals. So I did bargain with them and I managed to open up spaces for everybody that were expenses only. So the boot camp that would normally cost £520 per child actually was £40 for those that aren't on free school meals. It is a bugbear of mine. I don't particularly like funding like this because I feel it should be for everybody. But hopefully we did you proud and we were able to give you extremely good value for money, which worked out £10 a week, which was something ridiculous like £2 something an hour for the children. So we just hope that everybody had an amazing time. Going through each activity for my team, the tattoo art was an incredible experience, bringing Jo, Dom and Nicole from Rumpleinkskin, who's my tattooist. She's amazing, by the way. My whole back is tattooed by Jo. It was a real eye-opener. We chose to do the tattoo art because from a pilot that we were doing for Hyped 8 weeks previously, it's come about that quite a lot of the children that come to the Imaginarium are self-tattooing as a form of self-harm. So rather than sweep it under the carpet like a lot of schools do, oh dear, let's just ignore it, we thought, no, we're going to face this head on, which is why I asked Jo to come and design something very bespoke for us, looking at all the creative fun around tattooing, but also highlighting the health and safety aspect of it, and that self-tattooing is actually a very, very dangerous thing to do and shouldn't be done. We then linked in kind of all the elements around self-care, about all the mental health, because that's what we are at the end of the day. The Imaginarium Creative Studios is there to offer arts and creativity in order to support health, mental health and well-being. So that was a fantastic little course of literally 4 sessions for them where they designed, and we had our theme of Alice in Wonderland for the whole boot camp. So they looked at different styles of tattoos. They put together a wonderful scrapbook for the whole of the boot camp, linking in Trash Dollies as well. They designed their own tattoos and then we created transfers that was absolutely incredible, and there's loads of amazing photographs all the way through. Dom, Nicole and Jo are just an incredible part of the team and we're mega excited to do something with them in the future as well. So I know it's a controversial subject, doing tattoo art with children, but they're going to do it anyway, and isn't it better that we try and prevent that and we try and educate them so that they know that there is a legal age where you have to have a tattoo, and that is there for a very, very valid reason. From my personal aspect, I didn't get my first tattoo. I think I just moved up here. I was definitely in my 30s because it wasn't that long ago, and it took me a long, long time to choose the design, and it's all about respecting your body, respecting your self-image, and however, looking at the creative aspects of it as a form of expression. The designs of some of the tattoos they've done are absolutely incredible. And literally, these are 80 kids from the age of 3 right the way through to 18, and even the 3-year-olds mixing together ideas of how can we put a composition together. Even they got it at the age of 3, and yes, obviously they're not thinking about tattoos as such at that age. However, they absolutely loved having the transfers on and thinking, look at this amazing art that I've created and it's on my arm. So it was a really amazing thing to do. And I have since had a meeting with a lady from education, and it's an area that they're absolutely terrified to deliver, and I'm like, well, why? If kids are going to go and try and self-tattoo themselves, isn't it our responsibility to educate them not to do that, but to also celebrate the art form so that when they are old enough, they know exactly where to go, where to get professional advice from regarding getting a tattoo, because they're going to do it anyway. So isn't it better that we do this safely and educate them as to why they shouldn't self-tattoo? So that was the first one. Then the next one was Creative Youth Solutions, and that is with Helen Kennedy and Alicia, and Nicole as well joined in some of that sessions, and Pearl at various points as well. So wellbeing and social action. All the wellbeing stuff is similar to what we would normally do in some of our sessions. It's looking at what the kind of person they are, what their passions are. It's a lot of discussion work. It was linking a lot of artwork as well. And for social action, we linked in with Hazel Grove Nursing Home in Saltburn. And the residents from there were imitating some of the activities that all our kids were doing in the wellbeing session. For example, one week we looked at the Red Queen. Every single character linked into some form of kind of theme. So for example, the Red Queen looks at anger, how we handle anger, how do we deal with our emotions when we bubble in away like that, what can we do, because it's the worst thing we can do is hold it in. So how do we release that anger? So we made calming jars, which were very, very sparkly, and the kids absolutely loved making them. And then what was incredible is we were sending messages through video to the residents in Hazel Grove, and they did the same activities. So they made the calming jars as well. And some of the videos are super cute, where some of the kids are asking the residents what's the bravest thing they've ever done, and vice versa. The residents would then say what the bravest thing was that they did, and they would send the video back. That sort of thing is really, really important in terms of our community. It's building friendships, it's building awareness as well. And then on the Wednesday of the 18th, we all got together at Tuned In, as socially distanced as we could for the residents, and they came and joined us for a full day of activities. The kids did their performances. We did a Trash Dollies exercise, making a catwalk model out of trash, which is like it was rubbish bags, newspaper, foil. And even one of the residents joined in, and so she turned into a model, and we did a catwalk. They got to choose their own music, and it was such a blast. We had such a laugh. And then we did, for social action again, a sponsored dip in the sea at the end. And Sharon Lewis, a massive shout out to her, said thank you for being probably one of the best activity coordinators I've ever come across in a care home ever in my life. If I could honestly just bottle you and give you to everybody as a gift as happiness, I definitely would. So Sharon brought the residents along, and they've knitted little caterpillars, which we will display on our Facebook, and she sold them for £4 each, which has raised some money. And she also did a virtual balloon thing which raised money as well. So I will put more details about all of them activities, and the money raised is going into a specific project that the Imaginarium is going to do with Hazel Grove, so that we can continue that work and continue that link with the residents there, because oh my gosh, they're amazing, absolutely amazing. So that was wellbeing. So hopefully at the end of that, the kids felt that they achieved a lot, brought a sense of reward, a sense of self-care for themselves, exploring themselves, but also a sense of huge community and connection, because everything we teach is according to the 5 ways to wellbeing. They were embedded through everything that we did, and that's mega important that people start to recognise the 5 ways to wellbeing. It's no different to kind of your 5 fruit and veg a day. The 5 ways to wellbeing is something that we deliver across all of our activities, whether we're teaching in a school, whether it's the community arts programme, whether it's something specific for children in care. All of that, the 5 ways to wellbeing is an amazing toolkit for us to use to creatively as well. So then the next activity was fitness, the Fitpod with Liz. Liz is an amazing personal trainer. I can vouch for her because she's my personal trainer. She's also had the wonderful joy of growing up with me from a very, very young age. We've got some stories to tell, we certainly have. So Liz is an amazing person just generally, but in terms of fitness and sport, she really grasped the theme that we were doing, and to link in Alice in Wonderland with everything. So they did circuit training using the deck of cards. Kenzie helped as well. Kenzie would normally do dance, but he's going to Redcar College in September to do sport, so I was really with sport and fitness, so I was really keen to kind of throw him in with Liz to get some kind of background, hands-on delivery on how we can deliver sport and fitness in a really fun way. Adam also joined the fitness team, Adam Mackay. Huge thank you to you for joining the team very last minute, so that it was all hands on deck for sport and fitness. They played loads of different sports linking into Alice in Wonderland, such as we looked at traditional games. For the Red Queen playing croquet, they had to go at all the different types of sports. We had giant Jenga, we did an obstacle course, which was a great hit. Teaching sport in a fun way. When I was at school, PE was my worst subject. I absolutely hated it. I could not think of anything anything worse than, first of all, putting the minging PE kit on and running around Bydale School Field. I honestly could not think of anything worse, whereas Liz was the opposite. So isn't it bizarre we've suddenly come together to create this? But I think it worked really, really well. Linking in creativity with sport and fitness, who knew that could be a thing? It definitely is. They did yoga as well, which was an Alice in Wonderland yoga. My little boy's just coming in to say hello. I'm just doing a video, Louis. Give me 2 minutes. So the program with the fitness, it was all linking in nutrition, how we eat healthy, how we have a healthy lifestyle, but do it in a really, really fun way. You did it, didn't you? Did you enjoy doing the sport with Liz? You remember? Except you're still fuming you didn't get to play tennis, aren't you? But it was badminton that you did instead, wasn't it? Kept going on about playing tennis, didn't you? So Louis, my little boy, he did the boot camp, and Louis has autism, and for him to have something during the summer holidays was mega important. First of all, it kept him fit because he does tend to gain weight quite easily. So he had loads of fun. He made loads of new friends. What friends did you make? Can you remember? Walter. You love Walter, don't you? You made lots of new friends, didn't you? And that'll continue all the way through, because then now the continuation is, hopefully they'll come to the Imaginarium for other stuff, won't you? Yeah, you can sit down while Mummy finishes.
Mum.
Yeah.
But I'll face my mum play.
Oh, well, go and say Mummy's going to be 2 minutes. I'll come down and sort you out. Yeah. Yeah. You can sit here while I talk. So that was the fitness and Fitpod with Liz. We made smoothies one day as well. That was a great hit. And we had fruit available every single day. We did have a sneaky couple of treats to break the cycle, because it was funded by the Holiday Activity Fund and we did the nutrition training beforehand. We're fully aware at the same time though, kids need a little snack of something sugary, and it is important to kind of have that at some point as well. So,
Mum,
yeah.
Mummy, but Mum, I am in year 2, but where's the holidays again? Are we going back in boot camp?
Soon we are, but we're not at the moment. Boot camp's over now, which Louis struggled to understand, and that leads me on to something that I think was really something we learned. Well, I've known this for years. This is why I don't always do funding projects like this, because you'll get the funding, you'll do an amazing project, but it comes to an end, and then all that amazing friendships that they've made, we had tears at the end with quite a lot of them, because they've already just made friends in boot camp, and then on the last day it was the harsh reality of, I'm not going to see my friend again. They don't go to the same school, they might not even live in the same area. A lot of these kids came from Middlesbrough as well. Louis, could you come sit over here for me? You're really, really mega heavy. Thank you very much, love you. Sit down for a minute. Good boy, go on, go down, play with Alfie. So the crying at the end was quite hard to deal with for me as well, and my staff emotionally. So just to highlight, we are doing something about it. The Imaginarium is here to stay. We will make sure these kids connect. We've got that privilege. A lot of people that deliver these sort of projects will literally do it and that's it. The one-hit wonders. Got the money, do the project and finish. We're not like that. We're definitely not a grant junkie as well. I love that phrase. Someone very special said that to me last week, saying about going from grant to grant to grant to grant. The grants are amazing because they bring these opportunities for the young people, but I feel it's my responsibility as an organisation to continue that opportunity, to not just be a grant junkie, do project after project and just leap from one to the other. I think the grants are important to support our work and they're very valuable, but it's also how can we continue our work long term so that this doesn't happen, so we don't have that, oh, the project's come to an end, what am I going to do? It's kind of the come down. It's the massive crash at the end of every single project, which all the practitioners I've worked with, those who do the greater practitioner training, I think we spoke about this a lot actually at ARC in Stockton, where we were saying sometimes these projects are amazing, but sometimes it can actually cause quite a bit of damage because it just comes to an abrupt end, and then where do these people go? What do these kids do? So that's something we're going to discuss in the evaluation. Obviously we are lucky the Imaginarium is here to stay and we've got an amazing community arts programme. After evaluating this, we are putting together some incredible programmes, so there's a lot coming in the future, and I am able to connect them children, so don't panic. We all resolved, parents can exchange numbers and all that sort of thing if they are willing to, and that's what they want to do. The next thing to comment on, I'd say we had 80% of the boot camp were children in care, and that was was a bit of a surprise. We've never had that many. I think it must have been shared on a fostering page. We've never had that many high engagement of children in care. The carers were incredible. I just want to say a huge thank you to you for being so supportive, bringing the kids every single day. And I hope, well, I know, we achieved great things for these kids. Absolutely massive improvement from day one. A couple in particular that do struggle with anger, in particular, punching walls, in frustration. It took us a long time to get to know the individual child, but do you know what? 80 kids took part in this, and I can guarantee you, I know the name and face of every single one of them. And I think that's what makes us at the Imaginarium very, very special. We make that effort. Having so many new kids and children in care, it's going that extra mile to get to know them, to understand what the triggers are, to use our creativity as a tool to engage with them. There was one boy in particular who literally did a massive U-turn after the first week. The first week we had tears, we had tantrums. It was getting to know him personally, and I took that time to do that, and so did all my staff. Kind of getting to know this boy, thinking, right, what can we do to put in kind of level of support so that this child gets the best out of this boot camp. And by the end of it, he was in the film, he took part, he was going through full sessions without having any kind of struggles or meltdowns. We put a coping strategy in place for him specifically, and that's important. And the foster carer in particular said the amount of sessions she's kind of sent him to, and they've buckled and just sent him home. Well, do you know what? We would never, ever do that. Obviously, we've got certain rules we need to stick to. We have certain protocol we need to follow in terms of behaviour. But isn't that our responsibility to think, well, why is this child behaving this way? We're the adults here. We need to put something in support so that this child gets the best out of the boot camp and is supported. And my God, he was incredible at the end of it. So that was mega good. And that's just one example. There was loads, absolutely loads. So working with children in care is something I've done for a very, very long time. It's something I specialise in. One thing I want to say to the Holiday Activity Fund though, and Redcar Cleveland Council and Middlesbrough Council, no, I'm filming, off you go for 2 minutes. Isn't it great having family life in your house?
No, you come on.
Can see that. Go, carry on, off you go, out you go. One thing to note, however, is if it was not for my previous training, my acknowledgement of working with children in care, for my 25 years experience working in youth centres, working with vulnerable children, working in all of that kind of environment, my poor staff would not have had a clue. So to the Holiday Activity Fund, just something heads up, and I'm going to put it in my formal evaluation. It needs to be considered if you are putting funding out to people that, let's face it, are probably more than likely going to be in the vulnerable category, who are on low income families. I'm on low income. My children get free school dinners. My children are very complex. They need their support in terms of mental health and anxiety. Maybe there needs to be an element of training or funding there so that I could have put some form of training in for all of my staff before they even started delivery. They're very lucky I was able to literally adapt very, very quickly, and I was a case of, this is the scenario, this is what you do, this is the procedure that you follow, this is how you deal with this child. Or if they couldn't, message me. We were working across 2 venues. It was a case of, I'm on the end of the phone. We had a very, very good communication program going on between every single member of staff across the 2 venues. We could communicate literally in a group chat within seconds. If a child needed my support, I literally would drop everything from whatever I was doing. I would go to that child. There needs to be something in place for future reference so that if you are going to be doing a project with vulnerable children and young people, that the people delivering have access to the training, and so that they are fully equipped, ready to deliver in that way. So a huge thank you to my staff. You are absolutely incredible at kind of dealing with vulnerable children that is brand new to a lot of you. And I know fine well that you absolutely took it in your stride and could see the reward at the end of it as well. Working with children in care is something that we want to do, continue with that. I would like to do something very specific for children in care, but also being inclusive is very important. Doesn't matter where you come from or anything like that. everything we do at the Imaginarium is open access to everybody. We also have a lot of children that kind of come under the special educational needs. Again, we are open to that. We will adapt, and it's definitely not a case of let's put them all in one group. It is inclusive. My little boy thrived all the way through it. Having that routine there for a child that has autism, having routine is quite important for Louis. Not being in school would normally throw him, but I was able to use the boot camp as almost like replacement for the school routine, which was really, really good. So the next activity was the Dance Theatre one, led by Pearl, that was absolutely incredible. Pearl was outstanding all the way through, supported by Paul doing the drama as well. Dance Theatre is normally what I would deliver. I did drop in every so often instead of managing. I did miss the delivery aspect, so I'm looking forward to getting teaching again in a couple of weeks' time to get my hands on nitty-gritty with everyone I'm working with again. But they did an amazing job, from learning my choreography to learning the teacher training, which I know they've been doing for quite a while now. I had huge confidence in them to deliver to a high standard, and my God, they're amazing. The dance work that they came up with at the end was incredible. Huge thank you to Jake, who came and created a piece at the end, which each week had a different theme, each day rather, a different theme and character. So he came in the last week to do as a guest artist to work with the kids. I love to bring professionals up so that this area has aspirations to look up to take inspiration from the professionals. I've worked with Jake for many, many years, and for me personally, it was just great fun. So having back in the studio and kind of feel like I was back at home, I suppose, with the pros in the room. A huge thank you to Dan Lowenstein as well for kind of coming and doing the filming at very, very short notice for me, because we weren't able to do our huge event we normally would at the end due to COVID restrictions. So we've created a film. That film is now going to be edited. Dan's going to take the time to teach me how to do some of the breakdown of the editing, which is absolutely incredible. Dan's an award-winning filmmaker who, again, I've worked with in the past as a dancer, and I'm just really, really proud of the fact that I can call upon my kind of creative warriors from all over the UK and get them to come to the North East and give these kids an amazing time. More work to come in terms of kind of that aspect of it. I've got so many people that I'm going to bring up to here to do amazing things with our local kids. That's very, very exciting. Then the last subject activity we did was Trash Dollies with Sarah Mendoza, and that was, again, Sarah was incredible from start to finish, absolutely dedicated 110% in order of learning what my concept of Trash Dollies is, the fact that we recycle a lot of stuff, in terms of kind of teaching kids sewing from scratch, that I think it is taught in schools, but not maybe in the way that would work practically in kind of real life setting in terms of creating costumes. Creating costumes is very different to creating normal clothing as well. So they created all sorts of stuff using the themes. So again, using the theme was there, and it linked every single activity together. So every child knew when they went to fitness it was the same theme, when they were in dance theatre they were using the same theme, when they were in Trash Dollies and the tattoo art, social action and wellbeing, all of us were linked together. I am a course designer. That is what I do. I'm very, very good. For many, many years I've designed BTEC courses, A-level, GCSE, all of that. I'm very good at creating programs. Link and themes is the way that I do it. I've got a certain model that I use and a certain strategy in which I deliver all these different programs. It's a strength, and it definitely worked with this. Sarah made little teacups that they made with them all. They had hats that we then linked into the dance work so that they had a hat dance to do. So it was all about how we link together at the end. How can we connect? And it was amazing. And using the 5 ways to wellbeing again in every single session is an incredible tool. So anyone who facilitates or is a practitioner or wants to deliver, have a look at the 5 ways to wellbeing. Have a look at it as a form of structure in terms of teaching, experimental teaching. I am an experimental teacher. I love to try out new things, see what works, what engages a child, what grabs their attention, and then evaluate it at the end. Using the 5 ways to wellbeing is an amazing tool for teaching any subject, literally anything. It can be there. It just makes makes your sessions interactive, very fun to do, and it gives you great purpose as well, and you're kind of ticking the boxes as you go. So I am, what's the matter? Oh cool, we're fist bumping. Can I have a sweet? Marshmallow, thank you. I am nearly finished, I promise. So we're going to say bye, because that's more or less my evaluation done. In terms of continuing on, I want to do a full evaluation. Any parents out there that want to give me some feedback, I am going to send out evaluations. Please, please, please take your time to fill it in. It's for parents, carers, and the children that took part. We had an amazing summer. The footage is still left to be edited, so there's still a lot of work to do, and you will also all get a brochure with wonderful photos in for you to keep explaining what all the activities are. What's coming next? I'm having a week off, mate. I didn't get an annual leave this year whatsoever, and when I'm saying to take a week off, I'm doing that typical mum thing. I've got the housework to do, I've got food shopping to do, and I've got a mountain of washing to catch up on. I've been working so hard, but it was absolutely incredible. We're not going to be a grant junkie. Now I'm designing a brand new community arts programme, linking in all the learning as an organisation we have done from the boot camp. We will continue. We would like to continue using the space at Tuned In. Politically, there's a lot going on with this building. Got an opinion on Tuned In? Let me know. We were the only ones there really over the summer, from what I could gather. What a waste of space. It's a big empty space sat there. We could have utilised that. I would have had that place packed out probably within a week. And it is designed for performing arts, so we need discussions. Huge thank you for Jacob Young to come visit, Mary Lanigan, Billy Wells, who helped me sort out so many issues we were having there, from them washing down the windows and all the water coming through the windows all over the kids' clothes and stuff, all that sort of thing. It needs discussing, and transparency is needed, because it's an amazing facility. It could be amazing. I'm totally open to take on spaces like that, because I'd rather it gets used by our local kids in an amazing way. Give it back to the community. Let these kids decide themselves what they want to do with it. That's the way forward. Got an opinion on Tuned In? Let me know. What's next? Community arts. I'll design it probably next week, put out new timetables. Detonation Warriors continues, and we go straight into filming for rehearsals. We're reopening on the 20th. I think I want to hold an open day. I think that's what we shall do. We'll hold an open day, so anyone interested in the Imaginarium and the work that we do. We have still got spaces available on apprenticeships. We are running the Community Activator Coach Apprenticeship, which is an 18-month apprenticeship. If anything that I've said, you think I would love to deliver something like that, I'd love to learn how they're delivering. I'd love to be involved with the youth work they do. I'd love to be involved with any of the performing arts, especially if you are dance trained. I want to hear from you. Drop me an inbox, send me a CV. Let's start discussions, because we've got so much going on. We're going to be going into schools as well and delivering programmes in schools, which I'm very, very excited about. But for now, I just want to say a huge thank you to you all. Thank you for listening to me. I know it's probably mainly my staff that will watch this, but a huge thank you to the parents, carers, and all the kids. You were absolutely incredible. It was an amazing summer boot camp, and I'm going to give the feedback to the Holiday Activity Fund, and let's see if we can progress even more, bring more opportunities for our local kids, and just continue growing. Thank you. Love you all. See you soon.